Alright, so we are live. So what is up, guys? It's Mr. T coming at you live from NYC. Welcome back to Convos, our podcast over here at TimTalks. And hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Now, before I begin, again, just going to throw out my support to all of you guys out there in the world for, backing me up and helping out with helping the channel grow, helping the podcast grow, gaining views and whatever and all that stuff. But your support has been, greatly appreciated, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. And even if my tone, again, it doesn't really pick up in the mic, just know that I do, from the bottom of my heart, I really do thank all of you guys out there, guys and gals, for everything that you've done at this point for helping the channel grow. Seriously, you guys are awesome, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. All right, and you guys can probably tell from the acoustics that I'm not in the traditional studio at the moment. I am now in the living room because there have been some redesigns over there in the studio, and so I just want to just make that clear. So if the audio sounds a little bit different, again, I do apologize if it sounds kind of crappy on your end. It is what it is, but nonetheless, I'm gonna try and get these out to you guys as soon as possible. And because your guys' comments kept coming in, and I don't know how to really describe how many that I've been getting so far, but just know you guys are pretty active. And I know that it's because there's still some problems out there in the world, and let's not lie, let's not bust a nut here. It can be kind of disheartening again, but I'm gonna do my best as much as possible to try and help you guys out, because I hopefully am doing my job properly. I hope I'm getting out to you guys and whatever I'm saying makes sense. And I do hope, and again, I have my hope for you guys out there, wherever you are in this wonderful world, that you guys are gonna get the help that you need. And I hope that I am one of those people who's helping you guys out, because literally there are tough times, and I feel for everyone when it's happened. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. It's literally BS at some points, right? And I don't wanna I had a loss for words, but either way, I hope you guys please stay safe out there. And with regards to mental health, again, I'm here, and I will do my best to understand all of you guys, because everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and that's how we do it over here at Convos, right? None of you guys are stupid, none of you guys are selfish, and none of you guys, I treat you guys as a blank slate, right? I treat you guys like an open book, and anything can happen, right? And that's really how it is. But down to the topic today. So what I got for you guys is pretty, I don't want to say straightforward, but it's literally about teachers. And I don't know why it took us so long to get down to it, and I don't know why at this point, like, this is like a comment that came in later on. And again, I'm not gonna question when or where these comments come from, but really it's a matter of just listening to this, and I thought that this should be done like maybe like, I don't know, 10 or 20 episodes earlier. I don't know, but that's just my opinion. But down to you guys probably saw from the title, right? Why teachers suck. And to be honest, like I said, I am a teacher. It is what I went for, and the reasons behind it, again, I said them in previous podcasts, so you can go ahead and check those out. I don't remember where I said it, because I sometimes keep rambling on. But what I do know is that I feel bad because many people have this perception of the teaching community, and it's not their fault. It's literally because of the fact that it's been happening, and other teachers are giving other teachers a bad rep. And I don't want to sugarcoat that again, because with teachers, it's become a problem. It's really become a problem where you think you could depend on the other parent. Like, teachers are like the second parents in a way, but you think that you could depend on them when it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, right? So again, from the bottom of my heart, I do apologize, and I'm gonna be a rep for all the teachers out there, both the good and the bad, to know that we're sorry. Like, seriously, this shouldn't have happened to you guys, and whatever it is that you went through from whatever BS or bullshit teacher that you've had, literally, I do apologize. And I know it may not be enough because I'm not there for you at that moment, but I just, I hope for the best for you. And hopefully, as someone who is a teacher, again, what I can say to guide you through it, because I got a lot of advice for this. So this might be one of the longer episodes, but this is something where I feel I really got to get down to. And, I wanted to get down to, but since someone left this comment a little bit later on, I had to sometimes push it back, and as you guys know, I had to push some episodes forward because of the severity of the situation. Just like with the depression episode that I had posted earlier, or not earlier, like a couple weeks ago. So that one had to be pushed to the front because of just, when I saw that, again, it's very dangerous. And just know that whatever it is that you guys are saying, I do take it seriously. Some lightheartedly, but some are just downright down to earth and they don't sugarcoat anything, right? So I do take them seriously and I try to push them to the front. So again, that's literally how I do my schedule, and that's how, if I hope you guys understand and empathize, that's how I roll, right? The more serious the issue, the more it is I gotta get down to the person, and I gotta get to that person, right? And to those other people who feel the same way, right? But back to teaching, right? I want to get down to this comment right away because I know we're already 6 minutes in. So what I got here was this. So my teachers effing suck, Mr. T. They absolutely do, and you have no clue. I mean, they give so much work and all that shiz doesn't even match with what we're learning. On top of that, my teachers don't even help me when they're supposed to. No, man, what the frick am I supposed to do, right? So I don't know if my tone was able to show on the mic, because my tone is monotone, so I apologize for that. But you guys can hear just from the emotion of the person, and again, they didn't really hold back whether it's a he or a she. The situation is the same, and I've heard it throughout the system. I've heard the same gist and the same comments and the same attitudes and all those things from the students. And I've seen that. And guys, let me tell you right now how the education system works, right? First off, we're pretty lenient, right? For anyone who wants to know and is curious, the education system is like that, where as long as you have the qualifications, they can slot you in. Which is why you tend to find like the system's kind of like bipolar, and no offense to those who are bipolar, that's also a condition, right? But bipolar as in the way where you find some good teachers mixed in with the bad ones, right? And we all know we've had at least one, right? Maybe one or none, but really just that one person who you thought of as a teacher, right? And then everyone else can be complete another shite, right? But really, it's so easy to get into the system. It just takes time, and by that time, that person can get slotted in. And the thing is as well, when it comes down to the system, sometimes you don't even have to have a degree in education. I've seen where, for example, people, they don't have a degree in education. They can be like in accounting, psychology, or whatever. But then they went on a pathway where they just attended these seminars, and then they do all this kind of stuff. And then from there, they transition, they move up the ladder, and then they can get certified that way without even having the education degree, right? And I'm not saying that anyone who does have it is gonna have the same attitude, right? And I get that it does happen, but really, if you don't have that degree, if you don't get the gist of how to be a teacher, you're not gonna succeed, right? And that's usually the teachers that we face nowadays, right? They don't have the right qualification. They don't know what the heck they're doing, right? They don't even look at their syllabi, which is like their lesson plans, literally. They don't look at them sometimes. And often the case as well, you find as well the teachers, they look condescending. They show off an attitude to students, knowing that they are teaching students who can be highly sensitive to this kind of stuff. And again, there may be some slips of the tongue, but some teachers, when you see them, they don't even look like teachers, right? In fact, they're either, for example, like they're already too old. Oh, I don't want to say too old, but they're already past the point of, having that capability to teach. Some teachers don't even want to do so. They're just in it for the money. And I've seen that and I've heard that, right? And you're probably thinking, what the hell does this have to do with the person's comment? Well, it's just because of the fact that when it comes down to teachers, I just want to explain to you guys, how this system rolls and why do you think it sucks today, right? And, me actually being in the system, again, I've seen that, and I wish I could intercede and I can be there for every single student. But, being just one person, literally, and also the fact that, when it comes down to, it's like teachers get kind of like territorial, They don't want other teachers interfering in their business, lest they're gonna go off for vacation or whatever, or go on leave, and then they ask another teacher to take over, right? And that's the gist of it. But then, when the teacher comes back, it's like my territory, my pride, and whatever, right? And that's why the system can get so kind of messed up, or not so kind, really messed up. So really, I just want to lay that down for you guys, just to give you a hint and an insight into how the system works, because it's not that it's corrupt, but it's more so that it's really down to the attitude of the person, and just being, when the system is too lenient for people just because they're in need of professionals, right? So it's literally down to those two things, right? You have a system who's desperate for teachers, but you also have a system as well in which anything goes, right? And that things aren't looked at very carefully, right? You guys have no clue how many times teachers can hide things, right? And even though, here's the deal, I've seen many good teachers, and I've been with them not only as a student but also as like a mentee for my degree, right? So I've seen teachers and they can be good. They can be good. But really, again, it's down to like those two things where they want the position and they want the money, right? And again, with a system like this, I get it. It can get annoying. It can suck. And I don't know what else to say apart from, again, I'm sorry for that, because students shouldn't have to suffer through that. Teachers who are not qualified should not be in the system. They shouldn't, really, because, you're not helping, right? They're not helping in regards to that, right? And so I don't argue when this person, whoever left the comments, my teachers freaking suck, right? How straightforward can that be? How can anyone not get the hint, right? Now, you guys out there, whether you be a student or was once a student, right? You know how it felt, right? And you know how it is with teachers, right? When they don't show the right attitude and when they don't help, right? And really, if you're wondering where you can find the good teachers, or where did the good teachers come from and why are they like one in a million, let me just get down to the rest of the comment, right? So again, my teachers freaking suck, and I understand that. I've seen that, and I'm not the person to say, you gotta listen to all your teachers. I'm not. I don't side on teachers who show off as much BS, right? Unless they're a higher position than me, or I'm at a risk where, I don't want to be a person as well. I don't want to lose the position, because I feel like, when it comes down to teaching, if I'm one of those few people who can help out students and I'm risking that, and who are they going to turn to, right? Who are you guys as students going to turn to when you lose that one hope that you have, right? So that's why, again, when it comes down to teaching, again, it's a very important balance for me, because of the fact that, what I risk, but also who I need to help, right? So again, back to the comment. So he or she said, they absolutely do, and you have no clue. And, just from that, the frustration and anger and all that stuff, right? Unwarranted. Unwarranted, sorry. I totally had a brain fart, but it's totally warranted. It happens. Like, it really does happen where, I understand the frustration. And if you think that I had no clue, I do. That's the thing, that's why I don't. Here's the thing. They say, the more tough you are, the better your students will be. It doesn't work that way, right? Yeah, there's culture, right? Cultures show that some people can be tough or whatever, right? But, you cannot deny the fact that, no matter how tough you are, no matter how tall a student looks or like that, they're still children, right? They're still children who feel as though that they know they're smarter, but they don't, right? And that's why teachers tend to set those expectations, right? Because they feel, hey, you're spoiled, you have all these things, you're taller, you're bigger, you're more athletic or whatever, right? And then you should be expected as that of an adult, right? If you look like an adult, you are gonna be treated as one, right? And that is the most freaking damn mistake that many teachers have made when it comes down to assuming the fact that the student is already capable when they're still developing. What the hell is the problem, right? With understanding that when it comes down to teachers, part of the reasons why students are suffering is because, like, oh, sorry, I hit a table. But, part of the problem is that teachers have those expectations when they really shouldn't. They're not realistic. And students have to be forced to meet that when, they're not in a helpful environment. So what do? They resort to violence, they resort to drugs, alcohol, or at least something to at least alleviate the pain, find relief. I will not find a student who does drugs or alcohol doing so willingly because it's the pain, right? Because truth be told, I've seen people where they can say that drugs and alcohol at least provide some comfort more than their teachers, and I get that. I get why people resort to that. And if people say, you shouldn't have done so, I'm the person who thinks back to the student, right? So again, if whoever's listening out there, you're a student or you're already past one, you know what I mean, right? When I'm saying all these things, when it comes down to seeing those teachers and, once being a student, right? Or is a student now, right? And it sucks. And then there's this other part here where they give so much work, right? They give so much work. Teachers do that. And that shit doesn't even matter, doesn't even match with what we're learning. How real is that, guys? How real is that people and students, they encounter that, right? Because I don't get why teachers, they gotta give so much work when, it's just gonna burden them and burden the student, right? First off, when it comes down to homework, I'm not the person who's a homework guy. And this is coming from a teacher. I hate having to give homework because all in all, they're not gonna make sense with regards to the lesson, because I've seen teachers, for example, give homework when they don't even match, right? And then and if someone asks like, well, why don't I give homework that does match? Well, first off, because how am I supposed to track progress in this day and age, right? People can find answers, especially me if I'm going into like mathematics, right? It's so easy to go on to a program and have it solve it for you, right? It's so easy, right? So rather than do that, what I do as a teacher is, have the lessons done there, and only if we don't have enough time, then we resort to like homework or whatever, right? But that shouldn't always be the case, right? Often my case would be like, for example, having classwork and then allocating the time for students to get at least an extra hour to be able to, do other homework, right? Like again, I cannot stop what other teachers are gonna do. What I can do is at least give more time, because students have the right to say they don't have enough time. Why? Because they already can see the assignment and say, hey, this looks a bit difficult, right? Because again, it's all the matter of like the teachers having those expectations, right? And the students having to meet them, right? But as a teacher, it's rather cut out the homework as much as possible and instead resort to having the student get more time from my period to be able to do their other work. That's how I roll when it comes down to this. I wish that teachers could get that, because, when it comes down to teachers, why should they burden, right? Why should they burden themselves? Why should they burden their students, right? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. But, okay, I know we've been stressed out for quite a bit, and I do apologize, but I just wanted to get it all out before I can get into the advice, right? Because that is how it is. And just to let you know that whatever I'm saying with regards to that, I hope you guys feel for that, because it has happened, right? This is the time where you get to let it all out and say, hey, this has happened to me, and someone can relate to it, right? Someone who does represent it. I represent a community where people hate them, right? People hate us. And I have no problems with that, because all in all, if this is a community, we don't deserve this, right? Teachers don't deserve what we have if this is the case, right? But, again, before I get into that, let me just go ahead and play this soundtrack for you real quick on the radio. Let's just chill out for a bit and just enjoy the vibes. And I promise you, the next time we come back, we're gonna go ahead and head into the advice that I got for you guys, all right? And this has been tried and tested even when I was a student, and even now as I'm a teacher. And what is it that, you guys can learn from? What is it that you guys can get from all this, right? From all the crap that teachers are espousing off, and what can you guys as students, or as students who can come back students who are gonna be in the future, this advice is for you guys, all right? But first, let's get down to the radio, and here's what I got for you guys, all right? Alright guys, so welcome back, and sorry, I suddenly lost my words again. I don't know why, but again, hope you guys enjoyed the soundtrack. And again, I know the first part was a little bit stressful, it was a little bit of a rant, but it is really true whatever it is that was said over there, because like I said, I've been on both ends. I taught, but I was also taught myself. So again, I've seen everything at this point, and really nothing as much surprises me with regards to that. And what with being a teacher, again, I'm part of a community that people are now coming to hate, and I feel that, and it's not unwarranted, right? It's really disheartening as well, because there can be so ways to fix this. And if I could at least do that on my end for you guys as students, I totally do it in a heartbeat, right? I feel you, and I'm, again, brings tears to my eyes to know that students, I've seen them capable of so many things, right? But when teachers are bad, they are also capable of doing the same on the bad side, right? So before I get to the advice, again, just to finish off the rest of the comment, again, just to restate it, on top of that, my teachers don't even help me when they're supposed to. Man, what the hell am I supposed to do, right? And guys, this person, how many of you guys can relate to him, right? Because I can, and I'm certain that all of you guys out there in the world, in this wonderful world that you guys can enjoy, with time, you can feel that, right? So here's my advice, as a teacher, here's the deal: don't stop, right? And again, this is someone who is teaching in the biggest city in the world, one of the biggest cities in the world, right? Don't stop. Regardless if your teachers put you down, regardless if you're being bullied or whatever, right? Don't stop. Because you might be surprised to know I've been through those kind of things, right? I was once bullied, and I once had teachers that I really didn't like. But for some reason they liked me or whatever. I didn't know what it was. I wasn't that showstopper of a person. I was literally an introvert, and I cannot express how quiet I was, and the fact that other people noticed. I don't know what it was, but really, I've had my fair share of problems and I just pushed through. No matter what happened. And I cannot express how important that is, even if you've been put down to your lowest. You know, just because other people have their own opinions and whatnot doesn't mean that should be we should reflect that. Not everyone's opinion is correct, right? And when everything is told at you hatefully, we don't take that seriously, right? But again, as a student, don't stop. Even if you were pushed, shoved, and what do you call that? When you're hit rock bottom, literally move your way up, because there will always be that. That's why literally, even in elementary school, middle school, or high school, don't stop with whatever you do. Keep trying, because really, all of that. Because if you had bad teachers from the beginning part of your life, and imagine the next year you're gonna have that one good teacher who will change your mindset, right? That one teacher, but you missed out on the opportunity because we gave up right at the last moment. The opportunity was right there, but sometimes we think that we've hit rock bottom to the point where we just stop, and when it was right there, we aren't able to take it, right? So again, when it comes down to being a student, don't stop. Keep going, right? And another thing as well is to find the help where you feel that it is, right? And you're probably thinking, what, Mr. T, should I take like drugs or should I take alcohol? Well, first off, anything that's really gonna help you shouldn't hurt you in the process, right? So if you're gonna find something that could help you, whether it be like a friend, a family member, an adult figure that you can count on, again, it's as long as they're not hurting you, right? The problem with regards to like drugs and alcohol, smoking, tobacco, all those things, the problem is that it's gonna hurt in the long run, right? We may not see it, and the relief is so good when we feel it at that moment, but what of it when later on in life we have a problem, right? And you've seen it, right? Alcoholism, addiction, cancer, and you've seen how it all ends out, right? We're not at that point where we can get rid of those problems, right? That high that you feel from taking those, it's just going to be a problem when you come back to reality and then you realize where you are, right? So again, the help that you find, whether it be a thing or a person, again, as long as it doesn't hurt you, it's fine, right? It's fine. I recommend finding, there are other ways to help. Like literally, I've seen programs where people can go online, go to these chat rooms, not Omegle, don't go on Omegle, but I've seen people where they go onto these chat rooms and then they talk with people from around the world. If you feel that your community is hostile, right? Whether it be from the students or the teachers, there's always the community abroad. And that's what's good about today, is that I know, for example, some friends from like Russia or Morocco, and I came from the Pacific. So literally, there's always gonna be that one person who can help you. It's not unbelievable. It's totally possible. And I guarantee you're gonna find that person. You're gonna find that person. And one example of that is me. And I'm not bragging about it or anything, but really, if you guys have something, let it out, and I'll be there. I'll be there for you every step of the way when I can and when I'm available, right? Because, life goes on for everyone, regardless if someone also has a problem, right? So there are people out there who can help you. There are things out there that can help you so long as they're not hurting you, right? And again, this is coming from a teacher, certified in NYC. And then there's another thing as well, when it comes down to school, what is it all for, right? Why do I need to tolerate school? Why do I even need to be in it, right? Why do I need to deal with this bullshit teachers? Why do I need to deal with an incompetent staff, or people who don't care, or people who order me around, or people who push me, shove me, bully me, and shove me to the ground, right? Why do I need to deal with all that crap? Well, it's because there will be that one point in school. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter where, but there will be something that would sort of tickle your fancy. There will be something there that you will catch on and say, hey, maybe this is what I'll choose, right? It's not that school is meant to be torture. In fact, it never was. It's the people behind it that makes it torturous, right? And you guys know that. You guys know that's how school is. And, that's how school can roll. But really, there will be something, at least one thing, that you can appreciate for. You might find inspiration in the music class. You might find inspiration in the art room. Maybe you love the theater. Maybe you're into mathematics. Maybe there's something that you found in language arts. Maybe you have that love for biology and the sciences. Maybe you want to delve into the mind. Maybe you want to do that or this or whatever, right? It doesn't even have to be the subject that you're being taught. It can even be the persons that you're with, right? Like I said, not every teacher is going to be bad. And I can vouch for you guys when I can say there will always be at least one person who stands up to everything that's been going on and can say, hey, this is BS. You are safe here. There will always be one. And how do I know? Because I've seen schools where I can consider some teachers my friends because they've held that, And like I said, when it comes down to us as teachers, we can already tell. Just because that teachers show off an attitude in the classroom doesn't mean that they'll try and hide it in front of the faculty. No, they'll still carry that same attitude. They will still have that same problem, right? They'll still look like just show off that crap and all that stuff, right? But really, you will find someone, even like a teacher, like I said, just one person, whether it be a teacher or a faculty, heck, even the janitor, right? They may be a better teacher, but the whole point here is that with education, it's just to get you exposed, and that's really the basis of it, right? It's really up to you what skills that you'll get. And it's true as well that you do need to pass your classes, right? The reason why it's just so difficult, again, it's because of the teachers, it's because of their lesson plan. They don't follow it, and you guys have to suffer from it in like that, right? But again, what with trying and pushing forward, again, you choose what skills you're gonna keep later on, right? And even if you completely hated the teachers out of their guts, right? Again, it's up to you what it is that you're gonna take. You don't have to listen to them, right? Maybe it's just the content that you want, right? And whatever it is, again, that's the thing. Even if our education system is busted, right? We shouldn't stop learning. Literally, we shouldn't think to ourselves that, hey, this is it, right? I ain't gonna learn anymore, right? Because literally, that ain't gonna help us, right? It defies the what it is that we want to do in the first place, right? We want to learn something. We want to know something. We want to be able to do things without having the stress and the BS and all that stuff that comes from what we see in the educational system, right? And it's happened. Now, again, I'm gonna go ahead and summarize all of that up for you, right? Before I get back into ranting. So, literally, the best advice I can give you as a teacher, from a teacher, is this. Again, what with you being a student, whether it be a younger student or an older student, again, don't stop whatever it is that you're doing. Don't give up. Opportunities will come your way. We just have to be patient. And if you think that ain't gonna happen, I've waited so long for some things. Like, it literally took me a whole year to get my license to be able to teach. And now I have it in my hands. So you can only imagine, again, and I'm teaching in one of the biggest cities in the world, and all because I had the gall and the patience to wait for it, right? And I didn't stop. I persisted. So I pushed forward. I kept going and, call this a story of my life. But really, it's because of that I found what I wanted to do. I found what I loved. And I didn't stop. And I had no regrets even if there were bad times in my life with regards to being a student, right? I didn't stop, and none of you guys should stop either. Because the opportunity, it can be really far away for the time being, or it could be right at your doorstep. It could be right there, right in front of you. You just gotta take it, right? And the thing is, you're never alone. This world makes it impossible to be alone, but it's also possible to find the help that you need. There will always be that one person, a family friend, a family member, a friend, a teacher, an adult. It doesn't matter, because you're gonna find the help. I promise you. I'm not going to lie about that, because it's happened to everybody. So you're gonna find that help regardless of where it came from, right? And again, or it could be a thing, so long as it's not hurting you and you're not hurting it, again, right? That's the whole point, right? And the last thing, again, I want to re-mention to you once more is, what was it? Sorry. Above all the sacrifices that you've made will come up in the end. You are destined for greater things. And you know what, with your teachers, again, the teachers who understand that know what it has meant to sacrifice. Good teachers, why they are so cool, you can see, like, that's why I said they're bipolar. You have teachers who are really crappy, but you have those who are like, man, I will remember you forever, right? And where does that all come from? It literally came from what they chose in the first place, right? They got inspired. They probably actually did pursue a degree in education. Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest with that. And also, above all, they took it to heart. They took it to heart and they made the sacrifice. You will find that those good teachers are some of the most humble people you'll ever meet. And I know how it feels, because there are times when I really have to bend down and say, I'm sorry for everything that you've went through. And I wish that that didn't happen, but if it did, at least we'll make it out, right? We'll make it worthwhile and we'll make a difference, right? We'll change around how things go and we'll look to the future instead of the past, right? So again, please keep in mind that this is the honest truth. Teachers can suck at some points, but the opportunities can be right there. Never forget that, guys. Never forget as well that to never give up. And never forget as well that there will be people out there in the world to help you. And that above all, good teachers are the ones who you can see and hear and feel, even smell or whatever, not to sound sexual or whatever, but you can hear the devotion and the passion. You'll know it. And don't give up, because that opportunity might be just around the corner. That one person who can help you may be coming near you face to face. You never know. All right, so that's gonna be this episode. I can't talk today for some reason. But that's gonna be it for this episode of Convos. Again, much obliged everyone for tuning in. I know this was more of a topic that should have been done earlier, and to be honest, I've been waiting for that comment, because like I said, sometimes that I wait for other people, I wait for you guys to mention it, and I'll see what I can do, right? Some can be on the same topic, but sometimes it can just be that one that really I said, I'm gonna do an episode on that. I really want to get down to it, and I really hope that you guys have learned something from this. And as a teacher, again, I want to say I'm sorry for everything that you've been through. You shouldn't have been through that, and don't worry. It ain't gonna stop just because of one crappy teacher, right? Life ain't gonna stop because of that one person or faculty or staff or whatever, right? What matters is that you follow your heart, keep going, keep pursuing what you love, and find the help that doesn't hurt you, right? That's why I said find the help that doesn't hurt you, right? So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have been an awesome audience. Please like, share, sub, and much love. Let's keep this thing going. Let's keep on growing. Again, I have many goals and aspirations, but it is what it is. We'll take things slow and steady, and we'll never know when we rise to the top. All right? So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please have an awesome day. And you guys just heard me say that earlier. And please stay safe out there. This is Mr. T signing off. Much love, everyone. And please stay safe. Have an awesome day. And I'll see you at the next episode, all right? Peace.